Hey all, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to remove, test and replace the headlight and signal light control switch on this 2010 Toyota Tundra. Before removing the airbag, make sure that the front wheels are pointing straight ahead and that the steering wheel is centered. They suggest disconnecting the battery negative terminal before working on the airbag system. Now in the shop, a lot of times guys won't do this, but for the purpose of the video I will. So let's remove the negative terminal and get it out of the way so that it doesn't contact the battery post. It's a 10 millimeter size nut on it. After disconnecting the battery negative terminal, wait at least 90 seconds or a minute and a half before you start working on the airbag system. Remove this cover using a interior trim tool or a small screwdriver. I'll post the links in the video description to some of the tools that you may find handy in doing this job. This is just the claw right here that we have to detach and then pull it out like that. Do the same on this side. There's a T30 Torx head bolt that we gotta loosen there. It won't fully come out, so just unscrew it all the way like that, and then do the same on the other side. Now you'll be able to get this steering pad airbag back like this. You've got the two airbag connectors and the horn connector right here. For the airbags, we just lift up these little yellow tabs with a small flat blade screwdriver and then just disengage them straight back like that. And then for the horn connector, it's got a little tab right there that holds it in, that needs to be pressed, and then you can slide it off just like that. First, unplug these two white connectors. There are little tabs on the top. Squeeze it and pull it out, and same with this one. Now remove the nut holding the steering wheel on. It's a 19 millimeter nut. Mark both the shaft and the steering wheel with a line. Use a marker or put a little scratch on it, but this is important so that when you're reinstalling it, you can put it in the same location. Now you've got a couple of options. You can try to pull it off by hand, or you can use a puller if you cannot get it off by hand. If you're gonna get it off by hand, put the nut on first by a couple of threads, just so that if you pull this wheel off, it doesn't hit you in the face. That wouldn't be fun. And also you won't catch any wires or rip anything off. So just grab it from both sides and kind of wiggle it. There you go, it's loose. If that didn't work, you can get a steering wheel puller to pull it off. And now that it's off, slide it off. Just watch out for this airbag wiring that's attached to the spiral cable, that it doesn't get hung up on anything and get damaged. And there you go. Now you can remove these two number 2 Phillips head screws that hold the cover on. And you can separate the cover. You can use a little pry tool like this just to get around and kind of split it in half. And then you can move the manual tilt adjuster if you have one, and then get the lower cover out like this. Tilt the column down a bit and we'll give you more room up top here. And now we can get this cover off. There's a little clip that holds it inside there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's this guy right here. So you can squeeze it a bit or just push right here and this cover will pop out. This cover, you could sort of lean it out of the way, but you can also get it off if you want a little more room. It's held on by these 4 clips right here, and usually you can either squeeze them by hand and push them out. Yeah, see, it comes out. Or if you need, you can use pliers, but usually it's not that difficult to get it out of here. And then this cover can come off. Disconnect these 2 connectors from the spiral cable. This black one, you just press the tab and pull. And this yellow one, there's a little slider right there, so you have to slide it, and that's going to disconnect it, just like that. And now you have this gray connector right here. So the tab is on the side, and disengage it. You've got 3 clips holding the spiral cable on. One is right here, one's here, and there's the same one on the opposite side. So just lift up on this little hook, disengage it like that, and then grab the last one and pull it off. And then it comes off like this. Unplug these 3 white connectors attached to the signal light and wiper washer switch. To remove the headlight switch, you will need to squeeze this clamp here, and then underneath it there is this black tab right there. So you will need to squeeze the clamp and then lift the tab up. And once you do that, you'll be able to pull it off. You may need to use a tool or maybe a pick to get this up like that. And then you'll be able to slide the whole assembly off the steering column. There we go. And now this whole thing can come out. Now we can test the headlight switch. The connector for it is right here. And we'll be checking for resistance. And for each test, we expect there to be less than 1 ohm resistance. That's the connector right there that we were just looking at right now. That's that guy. And then those are the numbers of the pins. And when we put it in each position, we will measure between the proper pins and see that the resistance is below 1 ohm. So for example, you know, when low beam light is on, there should be below 1 ohm between pins 16 and 12, and so on and so forth. For example, right now, fog lights are off. So let's measure between pins 3 and 4. And note that some of the pins are not there. So you just need to figure out which one's which. Count the empty spaces. So right now we have open circuit between 3 and 4. And let me turn fog lights on and remeasure. And we have less than 1 ohm. So fog light switch works. And let's say for the tail light, we'll check between 18 and 12. And it should be an open circuit right now because the lights are off. But when we turn tail lights on, we should have a continuity less than 1 ohm between 18 and 12. And there you go. So I'm not going to test everything. You get the idea, but that's the test for it. Now, mine's going to pass everything because there's no problem with it. I'm just making this video for you so you know how to remove and diagnose it. If you end up having to replace it, the new light switch assembly is going to come without the headlight wiper and washer switch. So you would need to remove this wiper and washer switch and then install it on the new headlight switch. And to do that, there is a little tab right here that you got to press, and then you can pop it out. and then you can separate them like this, and then get your new headlight switch, and then line things up and slide it in until it clicks. When reinstalling it onto the steering column, you will need to line up this claw right here with a cutout on the column. And the cutout is right there, right in the center on top of it. You'll need to squeeze this clamp or snap ring or whatever you want to call it, and then fit the switch assembly on. Line it up till it clicks, and then release the clamp. Make sure it's sitting nice and straight. Reconnect these 3 connectors. If you're installing a new spiral cable, it's gonna come with a plastic pin right here, and it's gonna lock it from rotating, and that's how you know that it's centered. If you get one from a wrecker or a junkyard or a used one, or you're simply reinstalling this one, and you definitely want to make sure that it's centered, because if it's not centered and you install it one turn off, when you turn a steering wheel all the way to one side, it's going to rip the spiral cable and it's going to destroy it. So the total that it has in it is 5 turns. And you can test and make sure that it's centered by turning it one way or the other way, and you should get 2.5 turns out of it. That's why we centered the steering wheels as well before we removed the spiral cable, to make sure the wheels are pointing straight. So take a look. So right now we got 1 turn, 2 turns, and we'll get about a half turn or 3/4 turn, let's say. So now we can go back. So this is a half, this is 1.5, and this is 2.5. And that's how you know it's centered. You can do it in the other direction as well. 1, 2, and a half, right? So half, 1.5, 2.5. This is very important to make sure it's centered, so that you don't destroy it once you install it and turn the steering wheel. To install it, just line up the 3 clips and then push it on until all the clips engage. Clip the 3 connectors back in. Reinstall the covers. So with this one, you'll need to clip the 4 little round clips that we disconnected before, line them up and get them back into the holes. And then there's this clip right here up top that needs to go in. And then get this bottom cover back in place. May need to move the tilt lever a bit, and then you just need to line them up and clip them together, the bottom and the top. Make sure there are no gaps anywhere. Tighten the covers. They give you a torque spec for these screws. I don't know why. It's 18 inch-pounds. I don't have a torque wrench that goes down to 18 inch-pounds. That's a really low torque. Just tighten by hand. They go into plastic. Don't over tighten them. Before you reinstall the steering wheel, just double check that this airbag is still lined up. You didn't turn it by accident, so you should have 2.5 turns each way. So we have 1/2, 1.5, 2.5. That tells you it's centered. And now you can install the steering wheel while feeding the cables through the opening in it. Now make sure to line up the match marks that we made when we took it off. Otherwise your steering wheel will be off center. That looks good. Install the nut and tighten it to 37 foot-pounds. Reconnect the spiral cable connectors. To reinstall this airbag, first connect the horn. Just slide it on until it locks, and then reconnect these two airbag connectors. So slide it on and then push the yellow tab in. Position the airbag over the steering wheel. Reinstall these T30 bolts on both sides and tighten them to 78 inch-pounds. And then reinstall the little covers on the side. Now reconnect the negative battery terminal, slide it all the way down, and then tighten it until you can no longer move the terminal by hand when you apply some force to it. It should be nice and tight on the battery here. And there you go. The job is completed. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more Toyota Tundra maintenance and repair videos. See you next time. Cheers.